The purpose of the last video series we had, Aerobic versus Anaerobic, was to bring awareness that we have a vulnerable population. We have a population that gets information on preventative health care information that's basically misconception, inconsistency, misinterpreted, confused, and outright fraudulent. So what we were trying to do is bring an awareness that the aerobic energy has specific guidelines as well as the anaerobic energy system, and it does matter how you exercise in a prescriptive way to develop both of them. When we look at some of the programs that are all out there today that lead the impression that all 5 forms of strength can be developed in one model of exercise. So an example, when we look at things that relate to fitness, absolute strength, speed strength, short-term endurance, anaerobic strength, and aerobic strength. Aerobic strength is measurable, just like a cholesterol test, just like a blood sugar test. So if these forms of strength are measurable, there are exact guidelines, that have to be followed over time in a mannerism that leads to positive adaptation. And to be led to believe that any model of exercise for 30 minutes covers all 5 of them is not true based on exercise science, and we can prove it.
Well, what about weight loss pills and supplements and shakes? What do you think about that?
Again, you had a very good point on that. Is America Day wants everything now. So basically, a person who tells you they lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, they're considered a success. Now the issue would be, there's many ways to cause weight loss that are manipulative. Manipulative means you lose weight outside of fat cell reduction. You cause severe dehydration, you cause muscle degradation, and you cause fat loss. So if I'm taking some type of supplement that accelerates a dehydrated state, and I'm judging that my weight loss, the more I can lose in a week, means I'm healthier, we can prove that through cardiovascular testing, where the MET score is the gold standard. We can prove that as soon as a person gets in a dehydrated state, their MET per minute drops. Their ability to sustain exercise for any given period of time gets worse and worse the more dehydrated they get. So right now, this issue of wanting to lose weight quickly goes against everything exercise science shows us. In one of our upcoming videos, we're going to go into great detail about that based on the energy expenditures of elite athletes compared to sedentary people.
So what about weight loss, just shakes, and how people are saying, how there's just fads saying, well, replace your meals with shakes. What do you think about that?
Well, the issue about nutrition is to say none of these meal replacements or food supplement type companies are regulated. That means the FDA doesn't regulate anything they sell. So if I look at a wrapper and the wrapper says this is in the product, there's no watchdog to see this, whatever is in it's in it. Also, what's negative about it is it leads the impression that all overweight people overeat, that they're eating a box of donuts every morning when they get up. And a lot of these overweight people truly don't eat any more than the person across the street. But their muscles' efficiency to use fat for energy has steadily declined because their MET per minutes have steadily declined. So if I'm drinking a milkshake once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and I'm allowed to have 1 meal in a day, most people on that type of regimen, by supplementing with shakes and having 1 meal in a day, are severely under their resting metabolic rate needs for calories. And anything that's under the RMR is going to promote weight loss that's manipulative immediately. So again, we've got people who don't have the fat burning potential to use fat for energy and never will be able to develop it because they're following these meal plans that are basically low calorie dieting.
And wouldn't you say another problem with those pills and shakes are that it just, in a way, it promotes a continued sedentary life. It's like you got that mindset, hey, I can take these pills and shakes and I don't have to do any type of physical activity.
You hit it on the nail. That right there is a huge point. So right now, if you ask most people a question, what's the way you're going to be able to lose weight, healthy weight, or you tell them how are you going to decrease body fat, everybody's first assumption is decrease calories. And can we get to a point where calories are so restricted that if you tried to do any model of exercise to stimulate the MET per minute, you would never be functional in being successful? You wouldn't be able to train in a mannerism where you could put an overload on the aerobic energy system for physiological change. So that's a great point. There's many people today that are on roller coasters their whole life. They lose a bunch of weight through manipulation, and then all of a sudden when their strong will to eating cabbage soup 5 times a day breaks, or eating a low carb throughout the day breaks, they gain the weight back based on once they go back to eating what's even considered normal. But what's worse than that, any muscle wasting at all that occurs decreases the content of mitochondria development. So what's worse than causing muscle wasting that causes skin to just sag to the ground is basically all that machinery that's used to metabolize fat. You lost that as well. So now when you go back to eating, you have the potential to store even more fat.
And would you say that that's where the marketing for that industry focuses on? They focus on the immediate supposed effects of these dietary supplements and pills?
Great point. So if I have any exercise program, let's say Mike Craven's going to start a playing checkers club, and if I put you on a diet low enough in calories, we can have everybody in our club playing checkers losing 10 pounds a week. So this issue of marketing is to say, if we market products that basically are money makers. Everything today is about how much money can you make preying on the individual. And the individual right now that's in despair wants to see the scale come down quick. Well, we can make the scale come down quick. We're just depriving calories. Okay? Now that issue is how they're going to function mentally, how they're going to function physically, how they're going to be at their optimum health if they're eating diets that are so low in calories based on just using a supplement. So the mentality right now for marketing is basically we're more visual than we are based on thinking. So when we see a before and after picture, we jump to conclusions automatically that before and after picture is a testimony to health. And I can show you some of the best built bodybuilders that, because some of them don't do enough aerobic work, have very low aerobic capacities when tested. They look like the picture of health, but then when you go to test what their met values are, I mean, they're very, very low. So you can't look at somebody and automatically judge how healthy they are. A person who tests out at 70 milliliters, this person has had to do a tremendous amount of work in the aerobic energy system to cause enough physiological change for that to be like that.
So from what I understand, from what the very last part of what you said was, somebody could have a high metabolism, a high RMR rate, and be naturally skinny, but still at the same time not be fit. And on the other side of the token, you can have somebody with an average to higher body fat, but be fit.
Exactly. So one component that's being missed in the healthcare prevention is we're not speaking loud enough about what can be measured exact. So how many sit-ups you can do, obviously abdominal strength to posture, all the other ways that we can measure fitness, whether it's a flexibility test. One of the issues that we have going on today with chronic illness and disease is people's METs per minute are steadily declining because they don't know about it, and the ones that know about don't train correctly. So you got another population that knows aerobic work's important, but the way they've been taught to do aerobic work don't stimulate the MET per minute to improve. So we can have a person right now who can be low in body fat but not healthy. And how can you prove it? The MET score.
All right, thank you.